I just finished teaching kids jiu-jitsu for the last hour and a half. Did some rolls with the kids that are competing at the end in a couple of weeks, and been busy getting everything back up and running for the new year, and took a break from filming for a couple of days as I was working on editing, and hit the milestone of posting my first video on my YouTube channel, Mad Healing. It was a big learning curve, like a big process. I knew it was going to be a lot of work, and I just had to kind of hunker down and figure it out as I go. So I'm really happy with how it all turned out. There's of course a couple of mistakes in the video that I'll work on for next time, but I'm not letting myself get stuck on those things and just working on improving every time. It's just about showing up and being consistent. So a couple of updates. I had, I think, my 12th or 13th session with my therapist yesterday, and we talked a lot about like the positive changes that I've been making and how much progress I've made. I'm really a person who likes to face things head on, and once I found the proper support and the proper reinforcements that I needed, like everything kind of worked together and helped me work through that process of therapy in a really authentic way. And I'm happy to report I graduated from weekly therapy. I'm sure I'll need it again as more and more layers become uncovered, or find myself like having a really difficult time staying regulated. But I'd say over the last week, I was really able to keep myself lined up. I was able to regulate myself and notice when I get dysregulated really quickly. There's a few triggers that I know that I'm going to notice that I'm dysregulated. One of them being when I start washing dishes, like just standing still in the kitchen. I think it's because my mind can't stay occupied with anything. For years, every time I was doing something stationary, I would always have to have a podcast playing or a book on in the background to keep my mind busy. But now that I've stopped doing that, I have noticed that I will start to get anxious. Everything starts to tense up. My throat is tight, my chest is tight, and I'm very tense. And I'm having to like work really hard to regulate myself. And when I say regulate, what I mean is that I consciously like go into my body, check around like where I'm holding tension. Often for me, it's in my shoulders, in my chest, in my gut, and mostly in my pelvic floor where I'm holding. So I have to take a few breaths, intentionally focus on like releasing those muscles, making a little bit more space, and then not returning to the activity that I was doing until I feel regulated. So it's like a constant practice for me, and over the past 12 weeks, I've been doing that like almost nonstop. I notice it most when I'm I find when I'm getting in the car and I start driving. When I check in, I'm like, oh, my shoulders are way up, my back is really tense. I'm usually rushing to get somewhere, which is another big point where I notice that I slip into that dysregulated state. So a couple of things I've had to do is like stop putting my destination on my GPS and like making sure I'm going to be on time and like watching the time the whole time, because that keeps me in a really stressed state. So I've been really working to like give myself extra time, not rush. And even if I am running a little bit late, realizing that like it's not the end of the world, and whoever I'm trying to get to, like generally it's going to be okay. So lots of improvement. I felt like yesterday was a really important day. I wanted to do some filming, but I was just super tired after therapy and after, you know, that big step in vulnerability where getting myself to post my first video and share it. I feel good about it, and the feedback has been pretty good. Like I think it's genuinely going to be of some help and some assistance to people that are struggling, and maybe look at other people who they might see as successful or, you know, living a different life than they am, and think that they kind of have it all together, that everything's perfect or easy for people, but it's certainly not. And I think the more we become open about our struggles and sharing like in a positive way, not in a way that's just kind of like adding to the negativity, but sharing that, you know, a lot of people are really struggling with nervous system dysregulation, and a lot of people don't even realize that they are, and how detrimental that can be to your health. Some of the health outcomes that are associated with being stuck in fight or flight or being stuck in a sympathetic nervous system state are most commonly like autoimmune disorders, gut issues, difficulty sleeping, more problems with addictions, more challenges in relationships. I mean, it's just like everything. It affects everything. And I think a lot of people don't even realize that they have this issue until it comes to a point where there's like a serious problem. And then they often look at it from a medical side of like, well, how do I fix, arthritis, or how do I deal with that? And it's like, well, how did you get there? And that's really where my practice is fully based on getting to the root cause of the problem and really healing like from the inside out. One of my passions is teaching children's jiu-jitsu. We were back this week at West River Jiu-Jitsu after the holiday break. Everybody was back Tuesday and Thursday for the regular classes. And we do have a competition coming up on the 24th of this month, so just in 2 weeks. So we had to kind of get back, get everybody dialed in, and start focusing on some of the competition techniques and strategies that the kids each need. And they're all kind of different in what they need. It's so awesome having a small gym and being really able to give like one-to-one focus on each of the kids. And so far it's been working out really well. The kids are doing really well in the tournaments, not only with their performance, like yeah, a lot of them are winning matches and winning divisions, winning medals, things like that. But when we've gone to the tournaments, like the whole team shows up together. The kids are like in a little pack and they really support each other throughout the day. They're cheering on each other. It happens a lot that the kids have to go against each other in their division, and that's always an interesting dynamic to kind of watch happen and see how the kids manage that, and also like provide some guidance for them when those situations happen. And it's just the most rewarding part of my job is watching them handle situations in an appropriate and effective and positive way. And I think of all my contributions to the world, like that's one of the areas where I really feel is making the most difference, is helping these kids develop resilience, develop problem-solving skills when they're under pressure, be able to manage their emotions. We don't say like, don't cry or don't feel bad about not winning or something not going right, but how do you want to let that emotion process, fully feel the feeling, and then kind of move forward from there, okay? So we really do a lot of like co-regulating and facilitating those big feelings for the kids, especially when they're competing. I mean, we see it on the mats here all the time. There's big emotions that come up. No one wants to be pinned down. No one wants to be held down on the mat for 3 minutes. So we really work hard on problem solving. And the number one step I always say to the kids is like, stay calm. Take your deep breaths. Figure out what is the next step you need to take. So it helps them to give them a plan and not just feel overwhelmed like I'm in this terrible situation. I have no idea how to get out. So that's a lot of the philosophy of like how I teach. And it's been really cool to see them develop their resilience, see them be able to stay calm, to manage problems whenever they're under stress. So I don't know, that's a few of the updates. Really taking some time to rest and recharge is one of the most difficult things for me. I really like to always be progressing. I always like to be very productive and getting things done. And one of the ways I've had to trick myself to be able to rest is I have to look at rest as productive. So I know that sounds kind of crazy, but to say to me like, oh, just go and watch TV all day or go and have a down day and not do anything like that, that triggers me so much and gives me so much stress because I'm really wired to just be productive all the time. So really working to change that habit and learn how to have more rest within the activities that I'm doing. Another big highlight this week was the busiest week attendance-wise at West River Jiu-Jitsu. We opened this gym a year ago. We really got up and rolling in January, and it's been a difficult journey. I will not lie. There was a lot of obstacles to overcome and a lot of challenges, and then figuring out how to run this all on my own has been probably one of the biggest challenges for the year. And just to see that not giving up, sticking with it, continuing to show up day after day, doing as much as I could each time, each day, little tasks, just trying to keep things going and really focusing on the important part, which was the community. And it was like the most heartwarming, the most fulfilling thing to see how much during the times that I was struggling over the year to keep things going with the gym, how much the community was here to really support me and help me get through the difficult times and build this gym into what it is today. The community has always been the number one focus of the gym: personal development, building community, making it a place that people are comfortable to come and train, learn a new skill, you know, be vulnerable, step it out of their comfort zone and try something new. And it's really been the community that's held me throughout this difficult transition and, you know, got us through. And I've learned how to rely on people and how to help. And it's just to think of it being a community that, you know, started with an idea and got built into an actual place, an actual gym. And now I have this community that I've built that is also supporting me. So it's like been a really beautiful and difficult journey, but it's been super cool. So to see new kids starting up and my other kids that have been here with me maybe for the year, started in over this sometime over the year, and how we have this little like pack that as the new kids start, they're like developing so quickly, like catching up to the pack, which is like a really interesting phenomenon that I haven't thought a lot about because I started this gym from scratch. So that's been super rewarding to see the gym growing, even the adult classes. So it's been really, really challenging to get adults to start jiu-jitsu, especially when I'm in a small community that's pretty rural. Most of the adults that I have training here are parents of kids that are in the kids program. So they do get comfortable with the gym, get comfortable with a few of the techniques, and a lot of the techniques that they're watching during the kids classes, they're able to like pick them up a lot more quickly when they start adult classes. So yeah, our numbers were up this week, definitely. We have a few new signups, and it's just like so rewarding, not only from a business perspective, but just to see your dream growing and like having some roots and being a little bit sturdy, having, you know, the courage to do it and to keep building it and see it starting to like get its own momentum and be its own kind of entity that is not completely dependent on me. It's been amazing. So yeah, lots of positives this week. I've still definitely had some challenging times and challenging days, not beating myself up for the misses, like for things that I'm not getting done, because we just have to kind of keep looking at the big picture. And I mean, I have to learn to have a respect for my capacity. And that's something that I've overridden so much and for so long that sometimes I can slip in that area and like almost push myself too hard and risk getting back into that shutdown state, which like I do not want to spend any more time there at all. In another video, I will talk about like some of the factors that contributed to me getting into that really, really dark and difficult place that I spent a few months in. It was not fun. It was very scary, very sad, very lonely, and very eye-opening. And that was the reason that I had to implement so many of these self-care and positive techniques and modalities and things that I do, because I was really not in a good spot. So yeah, more about that later. I gotta go get showered, get some food, but feeling really, really good and grateful. Thanks for coming along on this journey. It is cool to see. I love reading people's comments and seeing how they relate to the content. And yeah. everyone's climbing into their cars to get changed. Okay. Actually was not as bad. I was able to stay in way longer. I can tell my hands are not as bad. Yeah, definitely could do longer next time. How am I gonna do this? Bottoms first. It's way better not freezing my hands because I can actually change and get my stuff going. The boots were so much better. I got these little neoprene booties and it made a freaking massive difference. Okay. Do not flash. Rustico. Really happy for good balance. Second booties. Oh. Blanket. It's so funny seeing everyone in their full winter. Those are out. Oh. That was the worst thing to happen to lose my earring. My fingers wouldn't work to pick it up. Okay. I have to say it's crazy how fast you get used to doing something like that. It's like that was just my I guess 4th official polar plunge for this season, and there was none of that nervousness to get into the water. Like I almost was like excited, like couldn't wait to get in. And when I was in there, it was way less painful than the first time. It took me only a couple of seconds to get like my breath under control, and I just kept looking around at all the other women that were in there, and it's like you can just lock eyes with someone and you have this understanding of like you're okay, you're good, like, and we're in it together, and it just makes it like, I don't want to say easy, but it's pretty easy. The hardest part is getting changed and getting back into your car and leaving, but even that was like 50 times better today than it was last week. I'm kind of figuring out my system of how to do everything. I got the little neoprene booties and that helped a lot. Like my feet they're obviously cold, but they're okay. My hands, I didn't put them in the water this time, and I didn't have that like intense pain that I had on the drive home the last time. And it's just, you feel this calm and like excited, almost like joyous feeling just starts to kind of erupt out of you as you're thawing out, or as you're like coming back down, like you realize it's over and you've done it. And it's crazy. It's like it feels almost like a drug, but with so many positive benefits. Man, that's like a game changer. It's good and free, and it's hard, but that is the payoff of that is totally, totally worth it. All right, got a big storm incoming on PEI. We're supposed to get some freezing rain and snow today throughout the day, so I want to get home, get a few supplies, hunker down for the storm, and it will be a great day to do some editing, catch up on some work, plan my week ahead, and hopefully make some food that I can save and have for the week, and then family dinner. Definitely feeling much, much better. Hang in there, kids.
Off of the road, feeling the lows, and I don't wanna know that the bad tide's coming. Can't get away, but I have to go, so I'll say it again. Make it okay, come on by. voices in my mind go quiet, come on by and wake me up to be kind to this time. Back in the cold, facing the life that I don't really know, getting by with the truths I hold. Take me to Spain, give me the orange plum, southern sun for a day. I need something in life, come on by and make the corners of my mind not blind, come on by and wake me up to be kind with my time. In the patterns I know, they'll take me below. You can make them all go with your casual smile, being near for a while. I get re-inclined. Come on by and make the darkness I find not blind. Come on by and wake me up to be kind in this time. Da 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 da. Da 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 da.